Hi guys, today this video is going to be about the Fool's Journey. Now, the Fool's Journey in Tarot is about taking risks. It's about learning new experiences, trying out the new, beginnings, going on journeys. So today, I'm going to tell you the story of a fool, which is in all of us. So once upon a time, there was a fool, a young boy. He was an orphan, and he liked to collect things. He loved to collect things. So anywhere he went, and he traveled a lot, because he had no mom and dad, he had gone and picked things up, clothing, feathers, flowers, pets, whatever he could find. They were all his treasures, no matter what it was. And he was always on a quest for knowledge, always. He just couldn't seem to suck enough up of it. So one day he decided he was going to walk and not stop until he had learned what life had to offer that he hadn't experienced yet. So on the fool walked the young boy. He stumbled upon, in his travels, a magician. Now, the magician wore a cloak. He had a wand in his hand. He had the four elements around him: money or coins, a cup, a sword, and a wand, representing creativity, action, success, emotions, and his emotional well-being. "Hi, boy, and what brings you here?" "I am on a quest for knowledge," the boy said. "Knowledge? What kind of knowledge do you seek?" "I am going on a journey, and I'm not going to stop until I've learned the lessons and values of life. I want to be a spiritual being, yet be like a teacher as well. Learn the ways of the world." "Okay, boy. With you on your journey, you will need these four items: a coin, a cup, a sword, and a wand. Use them wisely. You will need all of these items, and you'll know when to use them." "Thank you, sir." And on he went. Next, the fool came to a temple, and he met a beautiful woman in robes, for she was the High Priestess. She had many secrets, yet wisdom, and knew all about the spiritual world. There were a lot of hidden knowledge in her intuition and psychic experiences. Learning to meditate while in the presence of the High Priestess, and incubate, be private and go inward, deepening his relationship with his higher self, and trusting his internal knowing. She explained that in everyday life, confidentiality is the key. That if he has a secret or any kind of project he's nurturing, to keep his own counsel for now. So on he went until he ran into the High Priestess. She sat in the middle of a large cornfield. She had everything she could want around her. She had a beautiful lake, trees, blooming flowers. She wore a gown. She wore a crown. She explained to the young boy about having abundance, comfort, security, emotional support, which the young boy did not know much about. For he was never rich. He was never comfortable. Not in his mind. The only things that he had were the things he collected, and those were his treasures. He kept them close to his heart because he didn't have much. So, as he sat with the Empress, she explained to him how to be resourceful. She explained to him being nurturing when people need you is important. That happiness and harmony exist within us. We just have to find it. To help others when we can. And on he went. He next met the Emperor. "Hi, boy, and what is your business in my kingdom?" said the Emperor. The Emperor was one of control, security, and order. Ambition was a big one as well. He sat with the boy and explained to him that action was important, protecting what is yours, being a powerful man, but still being able to rule and lead if needs be. That tradition is essential to happiness. Running things smoothly is very important. Being loyal is very important. The boy took his knowledge and moved forward yet again until he came to the Hare Ephant. The Hare Ephant was a holy man. He was very spiritual in nature. He would be the equivalent of the High Priestess in male form. He is the High Priest. The Hare Ephant spoke of education, unity, spiritual direction. The Hare Ephant explained to the young boy about self-realization and expansion, how to develop emotionally and spiritually at the same time, committing to relationships. He explained that opportunities will present themselves to integrate the mind and the spirit and ascend to a higher plane of awareness. The boy was exhilarated, for he had learned many things already. Next, the boy stumbled across two lovers in the middle of the woods, thinking they were alone, having no idea he was there. The lovers spoke sweet to each other, held hands, kissed. They were about maturity and decisions. They embraced each other with loving arms. He could see just by looking at them that a relationship was something that they shared. He could see that they were looking at apples on the trees and pears and trying to decide whether or not to pick them. He sat and watched, seeing that people can sometimes live in their heart. And so he moved on until he came across a man and a chariot. The man had two horses, one black and one white. He pulled up to the boy. The boy could see the man was determined. He felt victorious, and he was moving forth on a journey. He was in a rush. He wanted to get where he needed to go. The boy said, "What are you doing?" to the man atop the chariot. The man said, "I am going on a journey. Would you like a ride?" The boy said, "No." He said, "You move too quickly for me. I am moving slowly and trying to learn, and I'm afraid if I move too fast, I won't learn." The man on the chariot said, "Determination and focus is what you need when you travel in a new direction. Make sure that you do not forget these words. You will need willpower to fuel your desires, young man." And off he went, just like the wind. The boy thought, "I'm glad I didn't take the ride. I kind of want to enjoy life a little bit. I don't want to move too fast." Next, he stumbled upon a beautiful woman in a dress in the middle of the woods, cradling a lion's head, holding his mouth open ever so gently. He stared and watched and asked her, "Why? What are you doing? Why would you stand and hold a lion or approach a lion that way?" She said, "Life is about patience. It is also about being strong, but it's about patience, self-guidance, strength of character when dealing with pressure. Determination and patience are needed now. Sometimes to get a situation or individual under control, you will need these things." The boy nodded his head, stand firm, and said, "You are right. Thank you." And he moved on. Then, in the middle of nowhere, coming across or atop a mountain, he sees a man alone by himself holding a lantern and a staff with a cloak on. He stands by himself. He overlooks the land below him. He's quiet. He gestures to the boy with his hand to move forward. "I do not get visitors too often," the hermit said. "What are you doing in the middle of nowhere out here all by yourself?" said the boy. The man said, "Well, I am on a journey of healing and self-exploration." The boy said, "I see." He said, "This is an opportunity for me to take time away from routine, to consider my options, to go within. Sometimes it is a journey for me, but more commonly, it's a state of mind." The boy says, "Will you teach me?" The hermit says, "Of course I will." So the boy sat with him, meditated, journeyed, learned what he needed, and moved on yet again. Then he came across a giant wheel. There were men all around the wheel, men trying to turn the wheel, men sitting on the wheel. The boy asked, "What are you doing?" And the men claimed, "Life is about fate, change. We don't want to keep it in the same position. We want to keep it moving. Use your intuition in everything that you do, boy. Chance meetings, unexpected offers, and news will sometimes come, and sometimes in force. Sometimes your inner self will rise above, rise to the top like a thick cream, and you'll know exactly what to do. Don't forget, we all have psychic ability, and the wheel always moves. It never stops. Keep moving, boy. That is our advice to you." He said, "Thank you." And on he went. Next, the boy came to a woman, for she was justice. She held scales. The scales show the good and the bad, the balancing out of dark forces and light. The woman knows of that anything is possible. It's usually positive, but not all the time. Sometimes luck can slide into the picture, and sometimes we just need balance. Sometimes our perception and our balance is off, but you must be objective. There will be a positive outcome. It will come when past errors and imbalances can be addressed. And you will benefit from a fair system, provided you hold yourself accountable. The boy had learned a lot. The boy had next come to sit, lean upon a tree. And when he did, he looked up and saw a man hanging by one foot with his arms behind his back. The boy just laid his head back against the tree for a minute, rested, and then looked up at the man and said, "What are you doing?" And the man said, "Waiting. I'm just waiting." The boy said, "What are you waiting for?" And the man hanging said, "I'm sacrificing myself for enlightenment. I'm trying to see things from a different point of view. It's a transition, you know." The boy says, "Okay." He says, "You are pondering right now, are you not?" To the fool. The boy says, "Yes, I am." He said, "It's not always about getting things as quickly as you can. Sometimes you have to wait patiently, and the knowledge from the universe will come to you." "Thank you," the boy said, and he moved on. Got up from his rest, and he moved forward. And when he did, he came across a Grim Reaper with a scythe. Behind him was darkness. Around him was darkness. The boy looked up thinking, "I thought it was day. What happened here?" The boy looked at Death and said, "Are you here for me?" And Death said, "No, I'm not here for anyone in particular. I am about transformation and change. When you see me, it does not always mean that I will take someone's life or someone will leave you off this plane forever. I bring endings and beginnings, sometimes all at once. I am about fast and deep transformation and opportunity to let go of whatever you no longer need. Is there anything you no longer need?" The boy pondered for a minute, and he said, "Not yet. I'm seeking to gain information, to gain knowledge." Death said, "Just remember, sometimes my impact can be sudden and shocking. So look out for me." The boy said, "Thank you for your wise advice." Then he came across an angel next, and he thought, wow, what a difference. The angel was no sex. It wasn't male or female. The angel was both. The angel was a beautiful, beautiful winged creature with flowers and water around him or her. He spoke of moderation, reconciliation, and healing. The angel went by the name of Temperance. He showed dealing sometimes with scary or volatile situations, needing to keep your thoughts and your actions in check, finding balance, not always choosing one side or the other. The boy looked at the angel, thinking, wow, something so beautiful could sometimes be so intimidating as well. I'll have to keep my eye out. And on the boy went. He finally ran across a devil with horns, scary, dark, yellow eyes. Very intimidating. And he thought to himself, I don't know if I'd rather see the beautiful, intimidating angel or the scary devil. The devil didn't mean him any harm, but tried to tempt him into enslavement. Temptation is part of life, boy. You will need to learn that in any relationship, it can sometimes demand too much. Something can start positively and even pleasurably and reverse and turn into something that you no longer desire or need to get away from. It can be a destructive situation. It can be things that you are tempted with, greed, materialism. But just remember, I'm not always here to take from you. Sometimes I am here to teach you a lesson. Thank you, he said, and moved on. Next, he came across a crumbling tower that had been struck by lightning, caught flame. People were flying out. It was a scary sight. Smoke billowed out of the top. Oh my goodness, the boy said. I guess life can be shocking. There's destruction all around me. But again, I am enlightened by the sight of it. And the boy continued to walk, quickening his pace a bit. Suddenly he came upon a beautiful lake shimmering with golden light, birds flying around and stars seeming very close to the ground. A big giant star shined so brightly the boy could almost hardly see. Finally the light dimmed, and as it did, a beautiful woman with long golden hair stood naked over the lake and said, "How can I help you, my son? Is there some kind of guidance that I can give you?" He said, "Just the sight of you inspires me. I am suddenly feeling creative." She said, "Well, I am to show you hope and guidance. Have faith that your luck is about to change for the better." It was a very powerful symbol for the boy to see this woman. It showed him how to shine and show star quality. Next, the boy started to see the sky darkening and the moon getting bigger. He saw dogs baying at it. He saw a crayfish. He went to the edge of the river to stop and take a sip of the water that appeared so purified by the moon's illuminating light. When he knelt down and looked into the water, he no longer saw a boy. He saw a man. Was it an illusion? Was it a dream? Oh my gosh. He had a little bit of crisis of faith for a moment. It was a period of emotional vulnerability for the boy. He had thought he was still a young boy, but when he looked at his reflection, he was seeing the truth. Under the light of the moon, was it an illusion? Or was it something else? He was having a deep emotional conflict for a moment, and then he realized it was himself. He was no longer a young boy. He had grown, flourished, if you will. He fell asleep under a tree, and next, the sun was up. Ah, success. I am healthy. I feel great. I've achieved so much so far. I did have a bit of a challenging time seeing some of the things I saw, experiencing some of the things I experienced. But I'm feeling recovered now. The sun touched his face and made his cheeks glow. He felt his inner child blooming, coming out under the sun's rays. And then he crossed another path. Judgment. He saw lots of people. He saw an angel in the sky with a light coming down. People standing beneath the light, arms outstretched in the air, rejoicing in happiness, singing, if you will. The angel flew above them and sprinkled dust. And they had no fear. No fear. They were happy. It's all about assessment and letting go of the past, the angel said. The angel looked over at the boy and he said, it's time to come to a decision about the past. Make great changes and take advantage of your opportunities that are placed in front of you. It's about how you judge yourself on your past actions and attitudes. Remember that. The boy said thank you, and he moved on. Finally, the boy was at the end of his journey. He felt like he had gone around the world, and he had. He had met many, many people. It was completion to him. Success. A reward lay before him on a table like a buffet for his triumph, his completion. All the people he had met on his journey attended. It felt like the world had come together to be there for his deep joy and happiness, his deserved success. He had gone on a very long journey. He was a man now. He was able to have a wife and children. He understood what that meant now. And for the boy, life ended happily. Thank you for watching my video, guys, on the story of the Fool in Tarot. I hope this helps. Like and subscribe, please, if you like my videos. Bye.